wasn't going to bore you with all of the noise and waving a thing around in the forest, but used the Tomahawk, sprayed most of about 2.5 acres. This is about a 3-gallon tank, and we burned through, well, this was full, so almost a full tank of fuel to be able to get that done. Took me, I don't know, what time is it? I'd have to look, about an hour maybe, to run through and do that. So hopefully we will be mosquito free and bug free. Well, we can do the crickets. Crickets would be good. They add a nice ambiance and atmosphere. But that's going to be in, see, today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 days. So hopefully that'll be enough time for the chemical to work and annihilate things. It does kill on contact the mosquitoes and other flying insects. Doesn't really hurt any of the other bugs. Shouldn't affect the crickets. But it does get ants, which is good. Fire ants and those kind of things. So we should be good. I'll shoot another little clip as I set up some of the last details. Like these Highboy tables are the tables I was talking about putting out in there so that we've got something else to stand at, pour drinks, whatever. That's my cigar lighter and fire starter, in case you were wondering. And yeah, we'll go from there. Should be fun. Well, I just got done at the gym, so I'm going to take a walk out into the forest and see how well my efforts to get rid of mosquitoes and such are. So it is a little before 8. Got to get ready to head out to the office here shortly. Got a party at Mickey's retreat too, so that should be fun. But let's see how the skeeters are doing out here. It's always gorgeous out here, first thing in the morning. Never quite know what you're going to expect to see though. So far I got no buzzing, so that's good. Ground out here is all wet, it's spongy. It's definitely got the atmosphere I'm looking for with the forest and such. Camping, if you will. Excuse me. Well, let's see what the seating area looks like here. I got a little bit more work to do with cleaning stuff up. But, yeah. There's the camping area, fire pit. And over there is the picnic table. We're all set. Wow, chairs even look like they're actually mostly dry. So I'm going to have a sit here for a little bit. Oh, these are going to be perfect. Relax and read some email. Anyway, have an awesome day. There we go. Added a couple more chairs. We're expecting a dozen. Let me zoom out. So we have 10 red chairs, 2 of the other Adirondacks, a comfy chair that a friend brought over, fire pit's ready to light up. I also brought out these Highboy tables. Somebody's got a place to maybe stand a little bit. We got another 6 spare chairs over there. And of course, we've got the picnic table. So y'all can stand here and observe the fire, walk up, sit down, whatever. Got some high chairs, tall chairs. Well, high chair sounds a little weird, but I may bring those out and set a pair of them at each of these high tables and see how that goes. But yeah, we're about ready. Well, I just finishing up my workout and I wanted to come and look. We had about 3.5 inches of rain last night. Said it was supposed to be a pretty good sized storm. Everybody freaks out in the news. We seem to be in a bit of a microcosm of weather. So nothing major, but I'm trying to look and see about puddling. So I've got a little bit of puddling there. That looks okay. I want to see what the pad for the shed looks like. It's all up in there. It looks like it's going to be dry, although we have some puddling up to it. Got some puddling down the shooting range. But the other spot I really am curious about, because it's the next place I want to focus working on, is where the chicken coop is going to go. And kind of curious, since I regraded all of the area where Iron Man is. All right, so I've got a little bit of puddling right here on the ground. This is just in front of the chicken coop, but there's a bit of a river here. But right where I'm standing now is pretty much, so that's the trail. It's kind of where I just made a dam. Let me flip around. So where the picnic table is and whatnot here, this is where the chicken coop is going to go. And it looks mostly high and dry. I think looks like there's some dirt up in here. So if I kind of, up in this area, if I scrape all this back, kind of pad this out, we should be good. But this space here looks like it's kind of dammed up now. That looks fairly deep. So I probably should just fill that in with dirt if I can. Driving the tractor over, I probably just kind of really leveled that out. But going up over that way looks good. Make sure I get trying to tuck my stuff in here so I don't get them wet. All right, so it's not too deep. Let's see. Ooh, that got a little deeper. See how this goes. Yeah, it's just a little bit of a hump right there. So I either lower that, which is probably what I need to do, because this needs to all drain to the back of the lot. So this needs to come down a little bit. I think my problem was there's a root here. That should get it down to that spot. The Iron Man area actually looks pretty good. It's all up high and dry. That storm is still around. Winds are blowing a little bit. Oh, and I get puddling down in this spot. So I really need to make some kind of a creek that runs through the property that gets all this stuff to drain low enough that water goes down it when it's pooling, but not so low that it's just always wet. That's just mosquito bait. But yeah, oh, there's a couple puddles in here. Not too bad. This was where we hung out for Iron Man. Let's see what this space down here looks like. Yeah, we got a little bit of puddling. So, in case you're wondering why I'm so concerned about all this, let me see if I can get to a spot where it's still getting some puddles in the normal spots. Okay, saw them fall. So the concern on standing water in Florida, well, really anywhere, is going to be mosquitoes. So you may have heard me at the beginning of this mention that, well, actually I don't think I mentioned it. It was a note to my sister. So we just got done trying to control all the mosquitoes from the rain that we got that was 8.5 inches or so. And just got that under control. A lot of the water is subsiding. But anywhere there's standing water, you're going to have breeding ground for mosquitoes. And they're terrible. They don't make an evening fun out when you're outside. So if I can keep that water down, get things draining so there's no standing water, I will reduce the amount of mosquitoes I have, and I will reduce the amount of pesticides and stuff that I use. You saw in the last video I was using Flex 1010. That does a really good job, and it's really mild. You can spray it around the deer, around all the other animals, and so forth, but yeah, otherwise it's okay. And I see Thor. Thor! He's wondering what in the world I'm up to out here. But I don't know that he'll venture out into the water. We'll see. But I gotta wrap this up and head to church. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Stay tuned. If you get a chance, subscribe. Let me know what you guys do for drainage on your properties or mosquito abatement. Anyway, take care. Thor's taking the high ground. Is that as far out as you go? Yeah? Awesome. And just like that, it's gone. Oh, and then it's back. Can't tell what kind of bird that was soaring around in there, but it was either a vulture or a bald eagle, one of the two. So the current project is I have one 10-foot section of pipe. I'm gonna go with black pipe, and I've got my water separator and regulator. I'm gonna put a T on it so I can continue over to the hose reel. But I bought another hose reel that's gonna go on the south side of the shop. But as I'm spinning this on, I notice this is loose, and I've always got to close my valve because I've got a leak somewhere. Never really thought, don't have a whole lot of line here, so I should probably be able to fix it. But this is really loose here. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen this thing up, spin it up tight, and see if I can get rid of that air leak. And then start the going here because I got to figure out, I'm going to come up. I think I'm going to just lay the black pipe on this and go down that way. All the way to the other end of the shop and then halfway down the south wall. That should make it easier once I start using that end of the shop. At least I'll have air at that side and yeah, make things a little more handy. All right, so I got this all resealed. There was an air leak on this one. That's where my problem was. So I got it sealed. In order to get this tight, it's facing down. So I think what I'm going to do is 90 over. And I can't get this 10-foot pipe to slide behind the joists, pillars, anyway, the uprights here. So I think what I'm going to have to do is run it all the way up there and either have it go in that triangle or inside the truss part of that and then have it run all the way down. So this may actually work out if it's stuck here. I'll just 90 over and basically come up this and go all the way up to the top. And I think I'm going to go over inside the truss. That'll probably, then I won't have to like bracket it in or anything. It'll just rest there from gravity. And we'll go all the way down with that. I got to figure out what to do at the other end. Part of the fun, I think, of doing projects is planning them out, trying to figure out what parts do I need? Do I need 45s? Do I need 90s, T's, those kind of things. Okay, so if I'm coming all the way out to the end there, if I go through the truss piece, that's going to make it land. How am I going to go down the wall? Because I'd eventually like to have it be about the middle of the wall, so about where the truss is, or about the edge of that black box, maybe on this post here, we'd stick it. So if I end there, I could maybe 90 over. Shoot. It'd be nice if we ever decide to put drywall in the roof to have it so the pipe is up. So I may need to just angle it over this way, follow the truss up, and then maybe once I get it up there, how am I going to come down? I may have to have two 90s to make a swivel so that I can come down the wall there. Yeah, and then I'm not going to be able to come down on the inside of the wall because these bits that run left and right, there's no way to get behind those. Yeah, I'll have to think about that some. Yep, filling up here at Sam's Club, $2.66.9 a gallon. So one of the tasks I'm going to try and get knocked out today, in and amongst breaks and whatnot, is run a dedicated Ethernet line from my PC to the shop switch. It seems like every time the access points in the forest drop, everything, all the radios sort themselves out automatically. And it drops things and I get weird connectivity issues. So I'm going to eliminate as many of these as I can as I try and figure out how to get the power to the Wi-Fi access points in the forest a little more stable. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to run a couple lines. So I'm going to take one of these boxes, mount it there next to the electrical outlet, and I'm going to run all the way up over there and across. Actually, you know what? I might only need to run up to that and run over on that metal girder across and then over to the switch box. With that done, I should be able to have dedicated circuits for both the PC and the Mac. All right, so I got that run. It goes all the way up and down and got it patched in there, which was awesome. I still got some cleanup to do there. But we have Ethernet into the back of the PC and Ethernet into the back of the Mac. So we're all good. This morning we got 5 deer hanging out just outside the pool surround, snacking on stuff here in the forest. They are intent on something that spooked them a couple minutes ago. No idea what. But when they move off into the forest, their camouflage is so awesome that you can hardly even see them. And there they go. Got some fun stuff done. We bought a probably a 500-piece puzzle. Hopefully it'll be a family puzzle. That's the chicken run. Oh, hey, Tori. So that and several boxes that got soaked. But so this is a fun one. I was probing around, digging, trying to find that water pipe, and apparently it's right there. There's 2. I don't know what that broken one is. It either I broke it or it's been broken for a while in that spot. But the one next to it that's whole actually now has a slice on the top, and I can pressurize and depressurize it. So we have found the water source for, and we found Thor. There's Thor. Yeah, there he is. Found the water source for what will be, let me spin around, sorry not to make you dizzy, but in this area here we will have the garden, and then just past that will be where that 500-piece puzzle goes, the chicken run. So it'll be awesome to get those projects going. They had a sale at Tractor Supply on the run and coop, so hopefully by spring we'll have a garden and a chicken coop and run. So of course there's a ton of accessories I got to get for the chicken run and coop. We want to have an automatic door and water and feeder and all that kind of fun stuff, but we'll get there. But right now we have Thor down here at my feet, but I want to spin around and show you something really awesome without stepping on Thor. Sorry. I don't know that this is gonna even work quite the way it should. There we go. It darkens me a little bit, but you can see that we get some gorgeous sunsets here. So anyway, stay tuned, have fun, and I don't know if this is the end or not. We'll see. But as always, God bless. Well, it's a bit of a rainy day, so I'm inside the shop doing some stuff. And today I'm trying to finish up the run of the airline from the compressor over to the Bay 2, South Bay. Not sure. South Bay sounds weird. I think Bay 2 sounds better, of the shop. So that would be way down on that side. So it's got to come from about where that extension ladder is. That's where the compressor airline goes. Had to go up all the way down to the other end and then take a 90 and then come down the wall. So I've come about that far. I don't know how many, well, it's probably about 50 feet down one way and then 20 feet over and 10 up and down on either side. So a bunch of stuff. But I did have to make a couple of cuts on pipe So that's kind of what I was going to share with you. So I got to cut this at about 68 inches to make this run. And then I've got to thread the pipe so that I've got it. Luckily, I have all the tools to do that. What happens when you spend a lifetime accumulating various tools? I have a 3/4 inch pipe. Actually, I bought that set from Harbor Freight when we were in California, way back when Harbor Freight was a little iffy on tools. Now they've gotten a lot more rock solid, but this set of threaders has really done well. And I have it up to like 1.5 inches because originally I was threading pipe for lighting runs. Kind of similar to what we did with the lights over here, although that's 1.25 inch pipe. Anyway, it's all I can find anymore out here. I can't find 1.5 inch black pipe. But I'm going to get this cut, finish this up, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. So I pulled everything back in, so the farm truck and the tractor are back in the way. But I finished this up the other day. So you have the airline running down. It actually runs down there. There's the T. So I have an option to have another item on that. But what did make it kind of cut tight. What I wanted to show is I had to create a bracket on the back side of this side of the reel to give it some stability so it doesn't shake quite as much. It was only bolted originally to the pillar on one side, which would have made it quite flappy and flimsy. So now it's pretty solid in there now if I move it. But anyway, now I got an airline here. The only drawback is somewhere up there is a small leak. Hey Thor, how you doing? Just good? Okay. Let me get back to telling folks about my leaky airline. So somewhere up in this run, I think is a leak. When I use my threader, I probably should have gone forward, back, instead of just always forward. And there were some cracks or chips in the threads. But it's not a big deal. Most airlines leak somewhere. But for that reason, that's why we have this valve. Pretty much shuts off the airline from here, and there are no leaks from here to the valve. So having that shut off keeps that good. So we're able to maintain, what is that, about 140 pounds of pressure, while the line has none. There we go. Ordered a new fire pit, a little more classic looking, or classy looking. Kind of matches the chairs too than the the old steel rusty ring. But that one's stainless steel. Should last for quite a while. So I am constantly learning new things here at the homestead in Florida. The latest thing I learned is how to destroy a charcoal filter. If you remember, I had to replace that check valve, is what ended up happening. So we were probably not injecting much chlorine into my system before because that check valve was so clogged. And so even though my injector pump may have looked like it was trying to pump a lot, it was not doing the whole thing. But I didn't realize how much, because I didn't know that up here in the top of my holding tank is a spigot, which I'm supposed to test the chlorine level in. So I'd probably been running the chlorine level after I replaced the injector pump way, way, way too high. So now I know I need to go through and check that. I've been turning the chlorine injector down quite a bit. Hey Thor, you back? What you doing? Yeah, just kind of hanging out. I was telling folks about my injector pump mishap. So hold on. So when I had started this, I had it up in like 18-ish, and then I backed it down to 12 and 6, and now we're down to like, quite focus, there we go, like 2. So let me grab some water and test this and see what it looks like now. It's hard to do this with one hand, but so let's get 5 drops in here. 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see what that looks like. Get it up somewhere where you can sort of see it. All right, so now we're down like 0.3-ish. So as long as there's some in there, I might want to open it up a little bit more. I might go to 3 on the valve. That should get us about the right chlorine level. All right, so let's dial this up to about a 3. And we'll check this in a day or so and see how it's doing. So the other thing I learned is that adding chlorine seems to help things, seems to help things settle in the tank. So I realized that I had kind of a problem because this was not letting any brown stuff out. That looked pretty clear, although I did that the other day. I got to do that about once a week-ish or so. So that's good. Oh, I'm curious now how much chlorine I have in my tap. So let me grab a little bit of water out of this. Let's run a little bit out, flush that hose out a little bit. In my high-tech drain, it just runs out that pipe there. But that's where the rest of the excess from the back flushes go. Okay, that should get us a decent amount. Let's get that. And we will try and get some drops in there. All right, put the drops in. Let's see, how good is my deal down? Let's see, there's a good background. So there is no chlorine in that water. So after the charcoal filter, it's clear. Yay! Good to know all that. You know, I think at this point I might do a summary video of my whole well system. For folks that don't quite know, I know we've had some guests over that don't quite understand all that it takes to run an on-property well or a private well. So I may do that again. I did some, but I've learned a lot of lessons since that original video. Anyway, I know it's been a long one, so take care, God bless, and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Sign up for YouTube, that way you have an account so you can subscribe, and hit the bell. Let me know. I'm starting to wonder if this is a worthwhile endeavor of my time. Originally it was designed to help family translate as I moved out of California here into Florida, but it may morph as far as the timing of videos and the content. But comment, let me know what you guys are interested in seeing. And as always, God bless.